أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى أهله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Amma ba'd. My dear brothers and sisters, we have a fascinating question that we get to answer today. And that is that if you are someone who helped your mom do the entire Hajj, and by helping, I mean literally carrying your mom on your back, helping her through tawaf, helping her through Safa and Marwa under the burning sun of Arabia. You did the entire thing, the whole shebang. After doing this, are you now even with your mom? Have you officially reimbursed your mom for all the favors that she has upon you? Well, let's find out. So Hadith number 11 of Al-Adab Al-Mufrad is that Abu Burda, who's a famous son of Abu Musa Al-Ash'ari, radiyallahu anhu. Abu Burda, he said that I was in the haram and I was observing Abdullah ibn Umar. And Abdullah ibn Umar is the son of Umar bin Khattab. So Abu Burda says, I'm observing Abdullah ibn Umar, and Abdullah ibn Umar is observing a Yemeni man. And the Yemeni man is doing tawaf. So Abu Burda is observing Abdullah ibn Umar, who's observing a Yemeni man doing tawaf, and he's the one who's carrying his mom on his back as he's doing tawaf. And subhanAllah, before I go any further, just imagine for a second, this is not the days where you have air-conditioned marbles, you know? This is not the days where you have KFC chicken right in front of you so you can replenish your energy. This is not the day where you have cooling Zamzam water just around the corner. I mean, this is a tough situation. There are no moving walkways right now. And he's carrying his mom through the entire rites of Hajj and Umrah. And we find out in this hadith that this person, while he's doing all of this, he has such a good attitude about it. Like, this is not the person who's being whiny and grouchy and he's like making mama jokes throughout the entire thing that, oh my God, mom, carrying you is like carrying a boulder. You know, when we go back to Yemen, you're going on a diet. Like this, he has such a good attitude about it. How do we know this? Because he actually says some poetry as he's doing tawaf with his mom on his back. He says, Inni laha ba'iruha al-mudhallal, in ud'irat rikabuha lam ud'ar. Translation is basically he tells his mom, I am your humble camel. And even though I may not be the most comfortable ride, you are the best rider I could have asked for. To this level. First, he's already doing something so hard, and yet he has such a good-natured, such a pleasant attitude about it. After the whole thing is done, this man comes to Abdullah ibn Umar, and he knows that Abdullah ibn Umar was observing the whole thing. He comes to him and he says, Atarani jazaytuha? He comes to Abdullah ibn Umar and he's like, what do you think? Am I even now? Have I settled the account? Now those of you who have never heard this hadith before, you might be shocked by Abdullah ibn Umar's response. It's a famous hadith, it's a famous quote, a lot of people know it. When he says, have I now settled the account of favors with my mom? After all this toil and hardship that I've suffered through, am I even now? Abdullah ibn Umar says, no. In fact, you haven't even paid back for one contraction. Now what is a contraction? Hopefully most of you know, contraction is when the mother is in active labor, the uterus, which is like the baby sac, the muscle that contains the baby, the uterus begins to contract intensely just to push the baby out. And scientists, they tell us that the pain a mother experiences during active labor, when the uterus contracts, is one of the single greatest pains a human being can experience. And she goes through hours of this, by the way, trying to push the baby out. I tell you, if you are in that room when the mother is giving birth and the uterus is contracting intensely during active labor, mothers are screaming, like on top of their lungs. And you as a man, if you're observing this, you're gonna be in tears, dude. It's such a painful situation that they go through. So Abdullah ibn Umar, he's like, forget about you having paid back all the favors. You're still working on the first contraction, son. And before I go any further, just a point of benefit. This is how much our deen values the sacrifices of our mothers. That you could work so hard, but you can't get even though. Like, this person is putting a lot of effort, but he's barely scratching the surface. This is the value that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assigns to a mother in our deen. And it is so sad that in our day and age, in our culture, motherhood is something that is looked down upon. That if you become a mother, it's a career suicide. If you become a mother, you're caged now. You don't have upward mobility in society. That you're a mother now is basically game over for you. You're locked in. The negative attitude often our society has, yet we learned in a previous hadith that Ibn Abbas says, I don't know of a single act that brings a person closer to Allah faster than you serving your mother. Motherhood is a big deal. Now, final question I'd like to address, and inshallah then we're done. We have to address a question here, and that is Abdullah ibn Umar exaggerating? Like, that's pretty intense. Like, the guy worked kind of hard. Like, he's busting his chops here, carrying his mom, doing tawaf and Safa and Marwa. And here Abdullah ibn Umar is like, sorry bro, you're still on square one. Like, is there an exaggeration going on here? And one thing I want to share with you, that Abdullah ibn Umar is not the only one who makes this statement. We have this statement on record from Umar ibn Khattab himself, his father. He also says pretty much the same thing. Are they both being dramatic? So the way the scholars, they help us understand this, they give two responses. So it helps us kind of wrap our head around, why is it that you can never get even with your mother? First response they give, so beautiful, so profound. They say, when your mother was sacrificing and toiling for you, she owed you nothing. Like everything that she did for you, she wasn't paying back some favor you had done for her. She wasn't reciprocating some kindness you had previously shown to her. Like whatever they're doing it from scratch, purely out of the goodness of their heart. Like, to help you appreciate this, let me share something with you about our Desi culture. In our Desi culture, what happens is that when you get married, well, now the people who show up to your wedding party, they're all supposed to obviously bring gifts. And now in Desi culture, they write on the wedding card, no box gifts allowed. You know what that means, right? Cash only. So that's the only thing you can bring. Now the culture is, everyone who brings you cash, Desi families, after the whole thing is done, they actually sit down and make a register of who gave what. By name, dollar amount. By name, dollar amount. I feel like a whistleblower right now, just blowing the lid on my Desi people. So they actually meticulously document who gave what dollar amount. Why? So next time, the Arabs do that too? MashaAllah, we're even, MashaAllah. So next time, when that person gets married, or somebody in their family gets married, you gotta match it. Like, you can't be low, otherwise that looks really bad. They gave $50, you gotta give 50. Now imagine you get married, and one of the guests gave you $1,000. Like, you're rubbing your eyes, like 2 zeros or 3. Like, you are like so shocked by the generosity. You're overwhelmed. This person gave me $1,000. This is unbelievable. And you make dua for them, and you write a thank you note to them. A few months later, they get married. And now they send you a wedding card, and it says, no box gifts. And now you're gonna have to man up. So you suck it up, and you also give $1,000. I'm asking, are you guys even though? Like, technically on the surface level, yes, but from a spirit and sincerity point of view, that person owed you nothing and they gave $1,000. You just playing catch up, bro. For you, it's just an uphill battle. Something like that with our parents is that they put all this heart-wrenching, soul-crushing effort for you. They owed you nothing. Like, if you were to put a dollar amount on the amount of sacrifices, the clothing, the shelter, the food, the medication, not to mention all the emotional energy that our parents kind of invest into us, you can't even put a 5-figure price tag on it. So that's the first thing. The sincerity that parents have, they do it purely out of the goodness of their heart. Second response they give, they say is that when you take care of your parents in old age, it can be rough, yes. It's not easy. Like, parents in old age can be very demanding. You know what I mean? They want your time. They just want you to be there present. You know, they just want your presence. You know, their medication needs, their dietary needs. I mean, it's a lot. Sometimes the parents in old age don't say the nicest things. It's tough. You're doing a lot. But the thing is, as you're suffering through this grind, this period of misery that you're experiencing trying to take care of your parents in old age, you don't want to throw them in senior homes. You're like, all right, I'm going to take care of my parents. I'm going to man up. As you're going through this, as you're like toughing it out, there's a thought in the back of your mind though, and that is, I can suck it up and take care of this. I can handle this. I can feel this, because it's only for a short period of time. Pretty soon they're going to leave this world. Like, pretty soon the angel of death is going to come knocking, and they're going to go. I got this. I can suffer the pain and the burden right now. In other words, as you're taking care of your parents, secretly, low-key, you're hoping soon they're going to die. You might not say it, but that's the mindset. Eventually they're going to leave this world and they're going to die. So you're low-key hoping for their death. But when they took care of you, they were making dua that you live a long life. SubhanAllah. The mindset is completely different, yo. They would have gone out of their way to give their life so you could survive. And we have documented stories of parents giving organs and so much just so their children live, even if though they didn't get to live. So the mindset is completely different. Attitude is completely different. Sincerity is completely different. And that's why not even a contraction. SubhanAllah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we do justice to the rights of our parents. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who do birr to our parents. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.